fantastic time today. And before we get started, I wanted to talk to you guys about one particular event that we have coming up. This event is actually a 3-part series. So it starts on January 1st. And the whole theme for this was like, okay, how do you really want to start off your year? And not in just like a, let's get it done in a whole new way. Because, you know, we love to make a New Year's resolution and then pretend like we've never seen or heard about that New Year's resolution. And this is a different way to approach it. So it's a 3-part series, and it starts on the first with a 2-hour class. Now I know, you guys are like, Ruby, we're never ever doing a class for 2 hours. I'm not doing it. But listen, it's not paced like one of these usual hour-long vinyasas. Picture it like this. You spend the same amount of time in the poses that you're not such a big fan of, and more time in new poses or poses that you love to be in for a while longer. So there's that aspect to it. And it's also going to be led by Debbie Dower. She usually teaches our Tuesday, Thursday, 9:15. If you've never met her before, oh my gosh, chef's kiss. This woman is amazing. She will change your whole life. But I highly encourage you to check it out. Again, Jan 1st, and on the 21st, you can catch me in a different workshop. I'll tell you about the other 2 at the end of class. Here we go. Child's pose. Bring your toes together, your knees out wide on the mat. Bring your fingertips all the way up to the head. Take a nice deep breath in. Open your mouth and sigh it out. Take a breath in. Sigh it out. Just like that. Inhale. Big exhale. On your next breath in, fill up all the way. Exhale, press your thumbs into the mat. Breathe in, lengthen out your spine. Exhale, press your pointer fingers down. 3 more times. In. Exhale, middle fingers down. 2 more times. Breathe it in. Full, all the way inhale. Exhale, ring fingers down. 1 more time. Breathe in all the way. Exhale, press your pinky finger into the mat. Inhale, downward facing dog. Now, one of the things that you might not know about yoga is that this is essentially just one big breathwork exercise that we add movement to. So let's start to pair our breath with movement. On your inhale, bend your right knee. Exhale, bend your left knee. We're just going to keep switching back and forth. Inhale, one knee bends. Exhale, the other knee bends. Just go back and forth. Consciously learning that every time you breathe, you're bringing a new movement into the practice. Here we go. 1 more time. Take your breath in. Exhale. Walk your feet all the way to the head of your mat. Up here, we're going to take a halfway lift. We're staying here in this half lift for a moment or 2. So bring your hands either to your shins or up here at your thighs. What I want you to do is on each inhale, lengthen your side body, pressing the crown of your head to the front of the mat and pressing your tailbone all the way back to the far side of your mat. On your exhales, hug your low belly up and in. It's going to be important in this pose, which we'll do many times, that your belly is fully engaged here. Are we ready? We're going to take 2 more breaths, focusing on length and core engagement. Last one. Ragdoll. Let your head drop down and your spine comes to a C-shaped position. Now you can take a little sway here from right to left. You're going to have to start listening to your body in this practice. So when it says, hey, I want a little bit of movement here, go for it. When your body says we need to take a sigh, go for it. A drink of water, go for it. And when you're ready, get right back into the practice. Are you ready? Last breath, press your heels down. Inhale, roll all the way up to standing. Take extended mountain, fingertips to the ceiling. Exhale your hands to heart center. This is how we open every single class. It's 3 ohms so that we breathe all together. Are you ready? Take a breath in. Inhale, extended mountain. Exhale, fold. Breathe in, halfway lift. Exhale, chaturanga. So from high to low plank. Upward facing dog with your breath in. Downward facing dog, breath out. We're going to take 2 breaths here. Let it go. One more time. Big inhale. All the air out. On empty, feet to hands. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Inhale, extended mountain. Reach all the way up. Exhale, fold. Breathe in, halfway lift. Breathe out, chaturanga. Upward facing dog, inhale. Downward facing dog, exhale. 2 breaths here. Focus on creating length from your fingertips all the way back to your sits bones. Here we go. One more time. Take a breath in. Exhale, feet to hands. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Extended mountain. Breathe in all the way up. Breathe out and fold. Halfway lift. Inhale. Chaturanga. Exhale. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Press your pointer fingers and your thumbs down into the mat. Send your sits bones up and back with soft knees. Just a little bit of bend here. One more time. Take an inhale. Exhale, bend your knees. Hop, feet to hands. Halfway lift. Fold. Extended mountain. In and up. Fold. Halfway lift. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Inhale. Downward facing dog. Exhale. 2 breaths here. In and out. One more time. Full breath in. Exhale. Feet to hands. Halfway lift. Forward fold. One more time. Extended mountain as you breathe in. Fold. Halfway lift. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog on your breath in. Down dog. Exhale. 2 breaths here. In. Open your mouth. Sigh it out. Ooh, way more noise, guys. Inhale. Open your mouth. Sigh. Like that. Last one. Inhale. All the air out. Feet to hands. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Chair pose and stay. I know, yogis. 2 inches lower into this chair pose. Now from here, lift all of your toes up off of the mat. You're going to have to put your weight into your heels. Reach your fingertips forwards. You should sit low enough in this chair that if your hands are out in front of you, you will roll backwards. One more breath. Fold. Halfway lift. Inhale. Chaturanga. Exhale. Up dog on your breath in. Downward facing dog. Right side, warrior 1. Step and stay. Now, the one piece of this pose that most people get wrong is that you need to have both of your hips facing the front of your mat. This might mean pulling back through your right leg and switching this left hip forwards. Yes, that's it. Now come 2 inches lower into the lunge. Oh yeah, there we go. Come 1 inch lower. You have this. Exhale, chaturanga. Upward facing dog in. Downward facing dog out. Left side, warrior one. Square your hips to the front of the mat. That's it. Pulling your left hip back now. Right hip forwards. There you go. Sit a little bit lower into the lunge. That's it. One more breath in. Chaturanga, exhale. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Man, you guys made it hot in here. Let's take 3 breaths. Yep, take the sighs as you need them. Shake out your head, do the movements. This is yoga. We made this all up, so do the thing that feels right to you. You can't be wrong. One more breath in. Exhale, bend your knees. Move, feet to hands. Halfway lift. Fold. Now we're going to flow. Chair pose, inhale. Fold, exhale. Halfway lift. Chaturanga. Up dog on the breath in. Downward facing dog. Right side, warrior one. Inhale on the way up. Exhale, right back down to the mat. Chaturanga. Up dog. Through downward facing dog. Left side, warrior one. Flowing into the pose. And right back out of it. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Take your breath in. Sigh. One of the nice things about this practice is that we're always going to meet up in down dog. So if you get a little bit ahead of your neighbor or behind, take your time, move with your breath. Let's go. One more inhale. Blow the air out. Feet to hands. Halfway lift. Fold. Chair pose. Sit low as you inhale. Fold. Halfway lift. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Right side, warrior one. Big toe presses down into the mat. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Left side, warrior one. Reach all the way through your fingertips. Chaturanga, come back down. Good job. Upward facing dog. And into downward facing dog. Find the space to let your chest sink 1 inch lower towards the mat, creating all of that length. Finding new space in your body to relax. Choosing to make this easy when possible. We're going to do one more Sun B, yogis. Are you ready? Set. Feet to hands. Halfway lift, breath in. Fold. Chair pose. Fold. Halfway lift. Chaturanga. Up dog on the inhale. Downward facing dog. Right side, warrior one. See one spot on the ceiling. Chaturanga, right back down to the mat. Up dog. Through to downward facing dog. Left side, warrior one. Keep breathing. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. And through to downward facing dog. That's it, yogis. We're done through Sun A and B. So bring your right leg into the air. Now kick your heel straight back to the wall behind you. So not so much up into the air, but length is what you're looking for. From your fingertips all the way back through your heel. Now bring your heel to your bum and open up your hip. Open towards the side of your mat. Yes, kick it as high as it'll go. Stay here or flip dog. Nicely done. No matter which pose you've chosen today, press your heels into the mat, lift through your hips. Reach out, right hand as far as it can go to the side of the pose. Last breath. Flip it over, high plank. Side plank, right hand down, left hand up to the ceiling. Now, typically, yogis, I'd tell you to lift your leg, but what we're going for here today is your left leg. Bring it in front of you. And then I want you to bring it about halfway up the mat. Sorry, I realized I'm in a terrible spot for demoing this. Let me try that one more time. So your left foot comes halfway up your mat. We're actually going for a hip stretch here. So once you have that foot planted about hip level, press your hips towards the ceiling. There's a stretch on the outside of your hip if you find this right. Yeah, sorry, Adam, I was really out of space there. Nice job. Bring this front foot all the way up here. Now lift through this hip, straight towards the ceiling, looking for a stretch along the side. Press up through your fingertips. Last breath, yogis. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Into downward facing dog. Yes, I see a lot of sweat towels going on. That's all right. Get your drink of water. Take a breath when you need one. Left leg up into the air. Bring your heels to your bum. Open up your hip. Flip dog. There we go. Focus on your left hand reaching towards the side of the mat. You can even go for some big arm circles here, reaching all the way up and around. Let's go 2 breaths. Only 1 more breath before you hop back over high plank and into side plank. Now, Kim, Ann, and April, I'm going to make sure you can see it this time. Right foot comes halfway up your mat. Now from here, lift that right hip straight up towards the ceiling. You get this funky little lunge going. That can actually feel pretty nice. Take 2 breaths here. Hips pulling up as high as they can go. Chaturanga, good job. Upward facing dog. And into downward facing dog. Take a breath and sigh it out. One more time, in and sigh. Right side crescent lunge. Okay, good job, everyone. Now in this right side crescent lunge, I want you to bring your back knee down to the mat. So I promise that we get a little extra hips in here today, which is part of the reason why you got to start so hot in class. So interlace your fingertips and press them against your right knee. What I want you to do is lean forwards into your hips. What you'll feel is that that back leg has a big stretch across the front of it. This is your hip flexor stretching out. So one of the things that happens when you sit all day is that this hip flexor gets tight and it also atrophies, so it's not so strong. So we're going for the stretch here first. Are we feeling good about that? Now, stay low into this hip stretch. You want to make sure that you can still feel it. Reach your fingertips up to the ceiling. Now from here, your low belly has to support this. Lift up and bring your fingertips 2 inches further back. You can find a stretch all the way from that bottom hip up into your fingertips. Look backwards. Low belly is supporting this lift almost up and out of the pose. Good job. Stay here for 2 more breaths as you lift in your side body. Last one. Bring your hands to heart center and we'll twist to the right. You can choose to keep your back knee down or lift it up into crescent lunge. Either direction, what I'm looking for is the spot between your shoulders, melting through and forwards in your chest. This is going to help you twist a little bit deeper. Take 3 breaths here. Just looking to twist out as deep as you can go. 2 more times. Nice, even, steady breath. Last one. On your inhale, we'll rise up, take crescent lunge. Yep, so back knee is actually going to come off of the ground for this one into crescent lunge and then over into warrior 2. So hands out long. Warrior 2 is like the best tapas pose. Tapas meaning heat. So I want you to feel all of that heat right here. Press your big toes down into the mat. Yeah, that's a good adjustment there, Nicole. Now come 1 inch lower into the front lunge. Let it be a sweaty pose. Feel your heart beating. Feel the heat that you're building in your body with your own breath. Stay here for just 1 more breath. Extended side angle, right hand down. You can bring your hand either to your knee or all the way down to your mat. Whatever it is, stretch your fingertips up over the head of your mat. You're looking for a long stretch here. Last breath. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog on your inhale. Downward facing dog, exhale. Take the breath in and let it go. Good job, yogis. One more time, in and out. Left side crescent lunge. Coming low into the lunge before you let your back knee come down onto the mat. Yep, we're going for the hip flexor stretch. Don't worry, we're not forgetting it. Interlace your fingertips, hand on your left knee, lean forwards into the pose. I want you to find the hip stretch. You know where it is from last time, so really lean it into it here. And now reach your fingertips straight up to the ceiling, and now reach them backwards. So crescent lunge actually makes your whole body look like a C, from your heel up through your spine and to your fingertips. See if you can continue to lift up and out of your low back as you reach. Good job. 2 more breaths here, up and out. Last one. Bring your hands to heart center and twist to the left. So again, back knee stays on the ground, or you can lift it up. No matter what, find the softness in between your shoulder blades. It's going to help you figure out this twist, getting nice and low here, softening between your shoulder blades. That's it. Good job. One more breath. And on your next inhale, we'll rise up, take crescent lunge, and over into warrior 2. Eyes set. Your drishti is not only your gaze. Eyes to one place, that's your gaze. But now bring your attention to this spot. So this one point that you're looking at, this is all of it. This is the whole pose right here. Bring your intention to this place as well, meaning that every time your mind wants to wander, you bring it back to this one spot that you're looking at. Extended side angle. Left hand down, right hand straight up and forwards. Now, I'm going to tell you a fun trick about this pose. I know you're not going to want to hear it, but the deeper you get into the lunge, bending your front knee and getting low here, the better the release is in the pose. See if you've got 1 more inch to get low through your hips. All right, chaturanga, move out. Upward facing dog with your breath in. Downward facing dog on the exhale. Full breath in. Long breath out. One more time. In. Sigh. Feet to hands. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Chair. Yes, we've been here many times before already. You know my rules about chair pose. If there's one thing that you need to know here, it's that your hips stay lower than your heart. Bring your hands to heart center. Twist to the right. Think about lifting through your upper chest and then sitting your hips 1 inch lower into the pose. Every single breath. Inhale, lift through your chest. Exhale, low in your hips. 2 more times. You have this. Sit as low as you can go. Last one. And on your inhale, rise. Chair pose. Fold. Bring your feet out wide on your mat. Tuck your pointer fingers around your big toes and let your head hang all the way down. Bring softness to your knees. Let your head relax down towards the mat. If your neck forgets how to relax, I want you to shake your head yes and no. Get the full extent of the fold as deep as you can go here. Chair pose round 2. Bring your heels back together. Let's sit nice and low. Chair pose. Now, what do we know about this pose? Our hips are going to stay lower than our heart. Reach those fingertips forwards. Your legs set up before you bring your hands to our heart center. Now twist to the left. That's it. Looking to lift in your upper chest. Sitting your hips down nice and low. Take 2 more breaths here. Sitting as low as you can go, chest up nice and high. Last one. Before we inhale, rise, chair pose, fold. Feet out wide on the mat. This time, tuck your palms underneath your toes if you've got the space for that, and let your head hang all the way down. Something that can feel really nice here is taking a little halfway lift. And then on your exhale, folding all the way down, seeing what new space you can create. Walk your feet out 1 inch further towards the edge of your mat. Your feet should literally be on the edge or over the edges of your mat. From here, turn your toes out so they face away from you. Bring your hands to heart center. We're coming to goddess squat. So your elbows are going to land approximately at the insides of your knees. And the way you adjust this pose is either bringing your hips higher or sitting them lower. Now, if you get to this pose and you're like, man, my hips are tight, add some sway from side to side. It'll bring a little bit more intensity to one hip and less intensity to the other. Take some movement, see if you can sit low. One of the parts of this pose that you have to check out is that you're not letting your shoulders hunch forwards. I know that's so tempting, but instead lift your shoulders up and back. Let's take 2 more breaths here. Yeah, you've got it. You can sit onto a block if that feels good. Last one. All right, we'll move to downward facing dog. If you're dying for an extra chaturanga, you can of course use that to get there, but downward facing dog. Take your full breath in and exhale. Last time, in, out, feet to hands. Halfway lift, fold. Slowly inhale, rise to stand. We're going to come to eagle on the right side. So right arm wraps under and right leg wraps over top. Just focus on your drishti in this first one. Get your eyes set on one point that you're going to use throughout all of these balancing poses. Choose it right now. Don't do a spot that's moving. Choose an inanimate object, preferably. Switch sides. Left arm under. Left leg over, just the gaze. Set it, drishti. Not only your eyes, but your attention in the pose and your intention as well. Every time you wiggle, fall out, eyes right back to this one spot. Switch, right arm under, right leg over. Second set of eagle. We're gonna add some movement to this one. So you'd better get that gaze ready, okay? On your next exhale, slowly migrate your elbows all the way down to your knees. I have no idea what the real name for this is, so I call it hunched eagle, which is not very nice. But on your next breath in, unwrap your legs, press back, airplane. So you're going to keep your arms bound for this one. Reach your elbows forwards. Yep, legs and arms staying super active here. You have it, even if you fall out. Unwrap your arms, airplane. So for airplane, they come straight out to the side. Look for your up dog chest, hugging your shoulder blades together, lifting them up and back. Today, we're going to go for reverse half moon. So opposite hand down. That means left hand down. Oh, sorry. Right hand down towards the mat, left hand out towards the side. Yeah, it's just like half moon, but a little bit different. Here we go. It's okay if you fall out. Press your heel backwards. Lift it 1 inch higher. Feet down, fold. Yep, shake it out. Sway side to side to release the sides of your hips. I know that they get tight here. Press your heels into the mat. Inhale and roll all the way up. Left arm under, left leg over, second side. Yep. Sit a little bit lower in that bottom knee. I know it seems crazy, but it will actually help you balance. I pinky swear promise it to you. Yeah, just like that. You have this. All right, now guys, hunched eagle, elbows to knees. I should really come up with a better name for this. After class, if you have a better name, I will only call it that from here on out. Airplane legs. Keep your arms bound. Yes, yogis, good job. I stay steady. Drishti, you have this. Airplane arms, bring them out towards the side. Good job. Bend your bottom knee just a little bit. Bring some softness to the pose. Now, if your right leg is on the mat, left hand is going to come down, right hand out to the side. Revolving half moon. Just try it out. It's okay if you fall over. Kick the center of your heel back. Lift it 1 inch higher. Both feet to the ground and forward fold. Yeah, you've got it. You can shake right to left if you'd like to. On your inhale, roll all the way up to standing. We're going to come to tree pose. So right side tree. And if you don't have a block, I'm coming down with one because we are going to do something a little bit different in this pose. So right side tree pose, foot to your ankle, your shin, or all the way up at your thigh. We're good with the blocks. Okay, nice job. So tree pose, traditionally, as you might know it, I'm going to fall over. Just looks like this. But from here, what I'm going to try to get you to do is slowly hinge at your hips, folding forwards. Bring this bottom foot out in front of your thigh instead, and then fold into this right hip. You can bring your fingertips down to a block. That's why you have them, or a water bottle. And if you've got even more space, you can bring your fingers all the way down towards the floor. Yep, you can use your hand to help you adjust your foot. It does help quite a bit. Here, Nicole, bring your foot in front of your thigh instead of right at it. Yeah, it's good. Just like that. Take a breath or two to let this hip stretch out on the side. Are we ready? Bring both feet down to the floor. Inhale, let's roll up to standing. Now, I'm not sure I liked the transition in that, so we're going to do it a little bit differently. This time on the left side, let's start with your foot out in front. So instead of your foot being at your thigh, just bring it straight out in front of it. You're going to have to add a little bit of pressure here. Ankle hugging back into your thigh and then thigh pressing forwards. Slowly fold down towards this block in front of you. As you breathe, put your attention on the spot in your body that's giving you some feedback here, giving you a little extra sensation. It should be your hip. If it is instead your knee, we need to change this pose a little bit. Breathe where you are. Last breath. All right, both feet down to the mat. That's the first time I've taught that one in a while. Come to the head of your mat. Inhale, extended mountain reach all the way up. Fold, exhale. Halfway lift, breathe in. Chaturanga, breath out. Upward facing dog, inhale. Downward facing dog, exhale. Right side triangle. Yes, right foot to the head of your mat. Get a long stance in this pose. Your mats are about 6 feet long, and I want you to try to take up all 6 of those feet. Here, bring this front foot out. Oh yeah, just a little bit further. Now straighten down this knee a little bit, and we're actually going to trade your block to behind your foot. So bring this hand right back here. Good job. Now reach through your fingertips. This is the first pose in a sequence called grounding. Press down through your big toes. We're going to look to create grounding in your body, not as a concept, but as an as-lived experience. Press your heels into the ground. Now hug in through your legs, skin to muscle to bone, hugging all the way in. On your inhale, rise to stand. Both feet face the long end of your mat, side facing, wide-legged, forward fold. Go for the version of this fold that's gonna feel good in your body. You can check out some of your neighbors. They might be moving side to side in ninja lunges, bending one knee and the other. They might be choosing to take on a bind, interlacing your fingers behind your back. Or I think one of the new favorites in the studio is just walking your fingertips out in front of you and letting your spine get super long here. Weight into the heels of your hands and weight into your actual heels. Let's go for one more breath, evening out your sides if you were doing ninja lunges. And now we're going to walk our fingertips to the head of our mat for a right side ninja lunge. Right side runner's lunge is what I meant. Very sorry about that. Here we go. Fingertips around to the front of your mat. Both of your hands come to the inside of your right foot. Now you get to choose whether your back knee is staying up off of the ground or if it comes to sit on the ground. Honestly, either option is good. Now, the one thing that you do have to do, no matter which version of this pose that you're in, is hug your knee in towards your arm. This is going to keep the alignment of the pose from your head all the way down to that back heel. Now, here's my little challenge for you guys. You can choose either to stay here on your palms or bring your forearms down to the mat. If you're like, I really don't think that my forearms are going to reach here, use a block. Yeah, Mark's using his block option. Nicole is. Yes, here we go. Adam, good job. I somehow gaslight myself into thinking that I really can't get my forearms onto the floor in this pose every single time, including when I demo it for you guys. See if you've got any more space in this lunge to bring your hips just a little bit lower. And on your next breath, we'll make our way back to downward facing dog. If you need a chaturanga in your body, you can try that out, but otherwise, just down dog. From downward facing dog, left side triangle. Yep, left foot all the way up to the head of your mat. Create grounding in your body as something that is felt. This isn't just a thing that you're thinking about. Press through your big toes. Bring some softness to your knees. And when you find all of that grounding, spread your fingertips on your top hand to lift up. Because what happens when you ground down? You root down to rise up. Lift through those top fingers. On your next inhale, rise up to stand. And we're going to take left side runner's lunge. I know I'm skipping side facing wide-legged forward fold on this side for a left side runner's lunge. So fingertips all the way to the front of your mat. We yogis love even sides, if you can't tell already. Fingertips down to the ground or forearms down to the ground. But the thing about side facing wide-legged forward fold is you've actually already done both sides in one pose. You are not stretching anything new by going to the next side, so sometimes I like to skip it. See if you've got more space to let those hips soften down towards the mat. Making sure that you're hugging your knees in towards center line. Pressing that heel back in the back foot. From here, let's make our way back to downward facing dog. Take a nice full breath in down dog. If your breath has gotten a little bit away from you, bring it back now. Paying attention to your inhales. They're just as long as your exhales. Take a nice full breath in here. On your exhale, roll out to a high plank. That's it. You've got it. Hug the front of your pelvis up towards your belly button. There's a lift that happens here. Yes, you have it. We're hugging in through center line. Stay here for 10, 9, 8. Press your heels back. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All the way down onto the mat. Good job. Hands out wide, locust pose. Ready? Set. Press down, lift up, inhale, locust pose, round 1. Here we go. Tuck your chin in towards your chest, looking for length over height here. Exhale all the way down. You can tuck your knees from side to side. I know, big breath. Let's go for second set, locust pose. Hands out wide. Press down, lift up, inhale. Think about your shoulder blades pulling together onto your spine here for 5, 4. You've got it. 3, 2, 1, all the way down. You can tuck your knees from right to left. Hands by your low ribs. Take an upward facing dog. Press the tops of your feet down into the mat. Yeah, so not your push-up toes, but instead tops of your feet down. Lift your shoulder blades up and back. I know you guys are like, I thought that upward facing dog was a relaxed pose. Okay, bring your knees down. We're going to come all the way onto our spine for a bridge. So flipping the whole way backwards. Now, this section of our series typically is about back bends. But I've been a little bit bored with the back bends lately. I don't know. What can I say? So instead, we get to focus on something a little bit different here. Tuck your heels in pretty close towards your bum so that you could almost scrape them with your fingertips. From here, lift your hips about 1 inch into the air and bring your pointer fingers to the front side of your hips, thumb at the back side of your hips. Now, what I want you to do is manually lift the front of your pelvis up towards your belly button and let your tailbone descend. This should feel like you're tucking your bum underneath of you. Bring your whole spine flat onto the mat. So your shoulders all the way down to your hips, all of that is touching here. Take a nice big breath in. Exhale, let all of the air go. Hug your belly up and in. Breathe in. Reset all of the air out. Hold the exhale here. Hug your belly up and in. It should almost feel like you're breathing in without actually doing it. Now inhale and we'll reset one more time. Exhale all of the air out. Really empty. Hug your belly up and in. Inhale and release. So now you know where those deep abs are. You're going to lift your hips up. And let's take, Mark, do we want to do it with the block today or no block? Yeah, no, that's okay. You don't have to know. No block today. That's what we're going with. Okay, so hips up into the air for bridge pose. From here, your shoulders have to be a solid base. Get them tucked underneath of you. Keeping your feet exactly where they are, lift your right knee up into your chest. Now press the center of your heel straight up towards the ceiling. Keeping this right leg straight on your exhale, slowly lower it down towards the mat. Inhale, bring it back up. Exhale, slow lower. Abs are on. Inhale, bring it back up. Exhale, slow lower. Good job, yogis. Inhale, back up. Exhale, slow lower. Inhale, back up. Last one. Exhale, lower that heel. Even slower than before. Hold it right here. 5. Nope, low. 3. Keep it down here. 2, 1. Inhale, back up. Hips onto the mat. Now tuck your knees from side to side. We only did it on one side, so are you ready? Press down, lift up, bridge pose, round 2. Focus on keeping your hips level. Hug your left knee into your chest. Now kick your heel straight up towards the ceiling. On your exhale, let it lower all the way down. Inhale, bring it up. Exhale, slow lower, even slower than before. Inhale, back up. Exhale, slow lower, pressing through your heel. Inhale, back up 2 more times. Exhale, lower. Inhale, back up. Exhale, slow lower. It's the last one. Hold it here, the low position. 3, 2, 1. Inhale, and bring your feet down. All right, knees side to side. You did a good job, yogis. Hug your, bring your shins to parallel with the mat, knees bent. From here, bring your palms and place them on your knees. You want them high on your knees, not low on your thighs. Yeah, that's it, Tracy. You can bring it up even higher. So your hands are pressing right up here. Nice. Yeah, press both palms against your knees. Here, look, just like this. That's it. Now, hug your knees in towards center and press down through your palms. It's very easy. Press so hard that you can feel your low belly pulling down towards the mat. That's it. You can pick your hands up a little bit higher here. That's it. Press and hug. Feet flexed for 10, 9. If it's not hard, add more hug. 8, 7, 6. Here, flat hands like this. 5, 4. Now press. 3, 2, 1. All right, knees into your chest. I know. What do we do instead of back bends? We do abs. Now from here, we're going right back to that same position. So hands against your knees. Shins pressing. Whichever hand is touching your knee is going to remain pressing pretty hard, all right? Take a breath in. Exhale, lower your right hand and right leg. Inhale, bring them back up. Exhale, lower your left hand, left leg. We're just going to keep going back and forth, moving with your breath for 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hug your knees into your chest, rock head to toe, all the way forwards and all the way back. We're going to come through downward facing dog and into right side half pigeon. You guys made me tired. So one of the best ways to learn in yoga is to look around the room for the most part. Whether or not that room is literally here physically being together, or for Kim and Ann at home, or even April, or somebody who's watching this class a month from now. Check out another version of the pose. Maybe you'll learn something new. That's what I like about this particular style of yoga. We're not going to tell you what's right for you. We can give suggestions, that's great. But the thing is, you get to discover it for yourself. You'll be the one who puts together the pieces of your practice to make that magic happen. Whatever it is that you need, you are capable of getting out of the class. It's pretty special. I might be telling you the literal names of the poses or giving you some suggestions about how to change and modify your pose, but you're the one who makes it happen. There's actually nothing particularly special about me or the things that I say. This practice is your own. Take a breath and switch to left side half pigeon. So your left ankle is going to come right behind your right wrist, and then from there you lower down towards the mat. One thing that I think is helpful to know is that if you were going for like the maximum, most flexy version of this pose, your shin would be parallel to the front of the mat, and your thigh would be parallel to the side of the mat. Now, I would love to demo that for you, but that is not how I work. breathe. That's the part of this that makes it a practice. Who you are on your mat is a direct reflection of who you are off of your mat. If you're like a super type A person who has to plan, who has to make it perfect, guess what? That is most likely who you are on your mat as well. You're the person who's going to bring all their blocks with them, who's going to find the perfect version of their pose. So it's a practice. That mere quality means that you get to practice who you want to be off of your mat when you are here on your mat. For my type A's, let it get a little messy. Not everything is going to be perfect here. And for my type B's, more like myself, let yourself find the alignment of the poses, the structure and the rigor to the practice. Find your drishti in every pose. Even when it's wandered off, you're thinking about something else, bring it right back here. On your next breath, let's inhale and come to downward facing dog. Now that's a pretty good hip opener. So when you get to down dog, check out the new space that you've made in your body. Bend one knee, bend the other. Just take a look at how it's all manifested itself. Come through to a seated position. Let's take tabletop. So fingertips face your heels or reverse plank. Fingertips facing your heels. Press your feet down into the floor. Lift your hips up. Let your head drop back. The tabletop version just has bent knees in this. Let your head drop back, stretching out the front side of your shoulders. And bring your hips down. We're going to come to fish. So if you have a block, I prefer the skinnier blocks for this. Sit it right between your shoulder blades as you lie down onto the mat. Your goal here, here, Ratana. Switch it out the other direction. Sit up. Sorry. Yeah, we're going to hold on. And then this one right there. Yeah, that's it. If you're using a block underneath of you, bring your hands out to a T with your palms flipped upwards. Here, let your head drop down. I got you. There, good. I'm just going to lift your head up real quick. All right, good stuff. Let it drop back down. There. As you breathe, look for full, complete exhales. Out of all of the poses in this whole practice, there's only one where we tell you to point your toes instead of flex your feet, and it is this pose. So there must be something pretty special about it. Take one more breath. Rock off to the right side of your body, rolling off of your block. Now we're going to get upside down one more time with your hips up above your heart. Go for waterfall or shoulder stand, headstand, handstand if you're really dying for it. Waterfall is your block sitting right underneath your hips with your heels pressing straight up towards the ceiling. Flex your feet. Let your toes, your pinky toes in particular, pull back towards your face. For my shoulder standers, move to plow, so toes towards the mat. That's it, using your hands to support your low back and plow. That's it. Plow, move to deaf yogis with your knees by your ears. And then everyone slowly roll your way back down onto the mat, one vertebrae at a time. Hug both knees up into your chest. Let them fall to the left side of your body. Eyes over your right shoulder for supine twist. Hug your knees up into your chest. Let them fall to the right, eyes to the left. Let your breath come back to its natural, steady, rhythmic pace, where your inhales flow straight into your exhales with no pauses in between. There's a cold eye towel by the upper right-hand corner of your mat. Please feel free to use it. Hug your knees back up into your chest. Take Shavasana. Let your legs and arms go long with your eyes closed. Take a deep breath in. Let it go. Find a full inhale, followed by a long exhale. Slowly bring some wiggle back to your fingers and back to your toes. Hug your knees up into your chest and rock onto your right side, placing the center of your forehead on the mat or on the floor. Let yourself be and feel fully supported. On your inhale, rise up to a seated position. Reach your fingertips straight up towards the ceiling. Exhale your hands down to heart center. We'll close class today the same way that we started it, with 3 ohms. Feel free, as soon as you have 1 ohm end, start and roll straight into the next one. Take a breath in. Bring your thumb knuckles up to forehead center. Thank you so much for showing up today, for you, but also for the yogis who practiced with you. It makes a difference to be in a community of people who are being up to something bigger than themselves. Together, we bow our heads and we say, Namaste. Thanks, yogis. It was great to see you today. Thank you so much for coming in. Thank you for practicing at home. And thank you for taking this class a week or a month from now. It was great to see you guys. Bye, Anne. Bye, Kim. Also, if you want to come to the detox workshop on the 1st or learn about the other 2 workshops, please come chat with me at the front desk. I'll be able to give you a few more details.